Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. In this video we're going to finish catching up on the rest of Ixalan goodness we've seen so far, and after that, oh baby, after that, we're going to be looking at Iconic Masters for days. If you want up-to-the-minute Iconic Masters updates, be sure to follow our new Instagram account where I'll be posting spoilers all the time. First link in the description, going to be sweet. With all that out of the way, let's talk pirate/dinosaur/vampire/merfolk plain goodness. Fel Flagship is 3 mana for a 3/3 artifact vehicle with a crew cost of 3. Pirates you control get +1/+0. Whenever the flagship deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. Gotta love pirate travel shenanigans, and I know what you're thinking. Crew 3 is a hefty cost for this 3 mana vehicle, and you would be right, but the flagship does give all pirates +1/+0, which means that it'll be at least a little easier to get this thing up and running. Once you do, it'll only take a few turns of relentlessly attacking before the flagship has claimed all of the cards. Artifact, so it's easy to cast color-wise, it's a fair cost, this is a solid pirate playable. Chart of Course is 2 mana for a sorcery, draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless you attack with a creature this turn. Wow, this is very good, like, real good. This is 2 mana to draw 2 cards, and that requirement to not discard is hilariously easy to trigger. You literally just have to attack, it's so simple. It's an incredibly aggressive blue card, which means it'll lend itself well to any pirate decks that come into being, but worst case scenario, you can still just discard a card. It isn't like you can't cast this if you don't attack with a creature. If you want to discard, you can do that. I'm hearing some rumblings about testing this in Merfolk and Modern. Yeah, I mean, that checks out. It's an aggressive blue deck. Needs more card draw. What a powerful uncommon. I'm supremely impressed. Lookout's Dispersal is 3 mana for an instant. It costs 1 less to cast if you control a pirate. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 4. Alright, that's it. Pirates are clearly anti-control in this set. It couldn't be more obvious than right at this moment. I'm being 100% serious when I say this. Some kind of reactive, pirate-based strategy might end up existing in Standard because of all the aggressive blue support the color is getting. Honestly, right now, there isn't a single combination of blue control cards that can fight all the tech we're seeing from these pirates. We'll talk about more anti-control cards in a bit, but let me tell you right now, an anti-control tempo-based pirate strategy, it's just as realistic as the Naya Dinosaurs list. The shell is there, and it is scary beyond belief. Overflowing Insight is 4 of anything and 3 blue for a sorcery. Target player draws 7 cards. Well, hot dang, this is about as straightforward as you can get with a draw spell, but my goodness is it expensive. That's the real issue here. Let's get something straight. The only reason this card is mythic is for limited purposes, but even in draft or sealed, 7 mana, triple blue, and sorcery speed makes this really not that great. It's not like drawing 7 ends the game immediately. Sure, it gives you a huge advantage once you untap, but at that stage of the game, spending 7 mana to do something that doesn't directly impact the board is a little risky. I'm not saying it isn't useful at all, because obviously drawing 7 cards is incredibly useful. There are simply obvious dangers and drawbacks. I can't figure out how strong the card is, but my gut reaction is to say that it's more of a trap than something legitimately playable. We have a pair of returning blue instants, and they are both insane. We'll begin with Opt. Only ever printed in Invasion. The return of this cantrip means that Modern finally gets another blue draw spell that will assuredly get banned in the format eventually because blue can't have anything nice in Modern. Rant over. Anyways, Opt is a solid card. Instant speed, cheap, and you get to scry one before drawing in the hopes of smoothing that process out. I don't think the standard implications are all that great, but this reprint was certainly meant for Modern. If you want to get the old Opt, they are already super expensive, foils included, so just wait for the set to come out because this thing is a friggin' common. Don't go crazy. The next blue reprint that has everyone freaking out is Spell Pierce. Yeah, Spell Pierce is back in Standard, and there's something I have to say real quick. Blue players, like classic blue players, we enjoy Spell Pierce, but we don't want it back in Standard. You know why? Spell Pierce isn't a control card, it's an anti-control card. Think about it. You're giving decks a real cheap way to counter basically everything control decks have. 1 blue mana in an aggressive deck looking to protect its creatures, all it needs is Spell Pierce and we're just screwed. I love the card, but as a classic control player, this is going to be a real problem. Pirates, man. These pirates are going to ruin everything for control players. Arguel's Bloodfast is 2 mana for a legendary enchantment. You can pay 2 mana and pay 2 life to draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, you may transform the Bloodfast into Temple of ACLADOTZ. A legendary land you can tap to add 1 black mana to your mana pool. You can also tap it and sacrifice a creature, and you gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Wow. If we're talking raw power, the Bloodfast has it in spades. Having a card advantage engine of any kind this cheap is strong. The problem, of course, is Standard at the moment. Think about the decks that are doing well. Most of them them are fairly aggressive, and the Bloodfast doesn't exactly reward keeping your life total high. Maybe if Standard slows down a bit, this could see some play in a control-type deck, but I have my reservations. I think my favorite part about the card is that you may transform it, so if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can just keep your greed going until you die, the way it's meant to be. That's nice. Otepec Huntmas is 2 mana for a 1/2 human shaman. Dinosaur spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. You can also tap it and target dinosaur gains haste until end of turn. Another solid piece for the dinosaur tribal deck. I know I sound a bit like a broken record, but come on! They keep printing cards literally just for that deck. This one's great. Cost reduction for all your dinos, and the Huntmaster can grant haste whenever you want. I get the worry. The dinosaurs you want to play are clunky and expensive, but I mean, how many assist cards do they have to print before you come around to my way of thinking? It's the dinosaur way or the highway, baby. Wily Goblin is double red for a 1/1 Goblin Pirate. When it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Pretty simple card, but hey, goblins are on Ixalan, or at least this one is. Besides that, this might get the award for most underwhelming uncommon in the set. 2 red mana for a 1/1 without a single mechanic. Sure, you get the ramp of a treasure, but that's not exactly what red-heavy decks are looking to do early. And once you get that treasure, this thing just turns into a red-heavy paperweight. Not much more to say about this, to be honest. It's a super weird card. Growing Rites of Ixalan is 3 mana for a legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 4 or more creatures, transform the Rites into Ixalan Cradle of the Sun, which is literally Guy's Cradle. Seriously. It's just Guy's Cradle. Talk about a way to print cards on a reserve list. Holy butts. For a standard card, and I'm totally serious when I say this, the Rites is real good. You only need 4 creatures to flip it. In any kind of token strategy, this will be easy as pie to flip. There are more difficult things to do in Magic than get 4 creatures on the board is all I'm saying. Now, Modern is the more interesting conversation. Elves exist in that format, as well as token strategies, collected company decks, and strategies with Lingering Souls. All of those can easily flip this, and use the mana generated by the land. I imagine Elves will find this easiest to include, as collected company decks don't want too many non-creature spells. I was already growing in fear of modern elves, but this does not ease my worry at all. It's kind of terrifying, actually. Thundering Spineback is 5 of anything and 2 green for a dinosaur. Other dinosaurs you control get +1/+1. You can also pay 6 mana and create a 3/3 dinosaur token with Trample. Well, that's a 4/4 dinosaur token now, by the way. And you don't have to tap the thing, and it's a 5/5 already. What a huge fat dinosaur. Now, I don't think this has the kind of immediate power to be standard playable, but man, do I wish it was. This is one of those dinos where if you untap with it on the battlefield, you probably win the game. Being able to generate 4/4s with Trample out of thin air seems pretty decent. What a beast of a card. Obviously a bomb for limited. Might be in the top 5 uncommons in the entire set for limited, actually. It's super strong. Regisaur Alpha is 3 of anything, 1 red and 1 green for a 4/4 dinosaur. Other dinosaurs you control have haste. When the Alpha enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with Trample. Holy crackerjacks, Batman! Regisaur Alpha is powerful, to say the least. You're spending 5 mana for a 4/4 that blankets the rest of your dinos with haste, and you get a 3/3 with Trample for your efforts as well. That's 7 total power on the board for 5 mana. The math checks out. Best part is that this thing is more affordable than most of the dinosaur pieces we're looking to play. Nice break from the 7 to 8 mana targets we've been seeing. If the Niosaurs deck exists, Regisaur Alpha, that'll be in it at least for me. Vona, Butcher of Magon, is 3 of anything, 1 white and 1 black for a 4/4 legendary creature vampire knight with vigilance and lifelink. You can tap it and pay 7 life to destroy target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only during your turn. Whoa! This is something I did not expect. A powerful vampire, to say the least. Dang, talk about a reward for life gain vampire shenanigans. Even without that, 5 mana for a 4/4 with vigilance and lifelink, not too shabby. You get to attack in, gain some life, then still use the ability afterwards. Particularly devastating. Vona's powerful. If something can exist in Standard, it's pretty scary. Regardless, you can say hello to this Vampire Knight in Commander, where I'm sure it'll be in every single Vampire Commander deck that has ever existed in the history of ever. I wouldn't be surprised if Vona has already somehow assimilated itself into the Vampire Precon for Commander 2017, and you just get that card now. Totally absurd Vampire. Preview season's rolling along. We've been seeing some crazy themes come together. We obviously have dinos, but now we really have Temple Pirates. I need to know what you're thinking. Is this the kind of Ixalan that you wanted to see? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, keep your eyes peeled for so much Iconic Masters content that your head will spin clear off of your body. Well, maybe not, but you get it. You'll be excited, okay? Be sure to follow our Instagram, first link in the description, as we post Iconic Master shenanigans as soon as humanly possible. You don't want to miss it. And with that, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. Enjoy pirates or dinosaurs or merfolk or vampires or standard or just good sets. Well, you can pre-order your boxes of Ixalan right now on TCG Player for only $90 each. Pretty cheap considering what a lot of other stores are charging. If you don't have a local game store or yours is charging way too much, I got you back right here. Just click the link on the screen. Helps the channel. We all win. Enjoy.